Kani kediga bati CTV, mat pidang pek yaki kubur baman kasni, belawan rasha pida ka Orange Nissan Loom Sopo near Fire Brigade Shillong, ringkat bat ka eco-friendly enterprise, ki plakot nagbenta ki jingdon kam hakasong, bat kara karong.
Hakum kini kapur bak sorkar jela kadang yakun ya katma persya ya ka klam jingpang coronavirus. U MLA kaseng Kongres na maulai konstituensi uba proses di sokme ulapan jing persya na menteri wadai pe ikatnat kakoi kakya uba Alexander Elhek bahaduk kat no sorkar kala shimkya bania dai ka jing em jagi brio kibadani ka benta ka bahmat de bania kon tma persya ya kini ka jingpang uba proses di sokme ulon ra kini ka mat ya tai ha ki kenta keli jing keli hapok ka dorbar tlang jong ka yeng dorbar thawan ha ka arpoi truk jembang arjar arpho khanang bantep ki ei kilat kilinti bak sorkar Kanada ya kini ki brio ya ki balatep ha ka ktien nong wei kom ki COVID-19 warrior ni ki spaya kon COVID-19.
Honorable Speaker, sir, replies to staff question number 4. Sir, the preventive measure taken by the government to protect different liners, COVID-19 warriors are as follows. 1. Strictly follow the protocol of the government with regards to social distancing, wearing masks, hand washing, sanitizer, cough and sneeze etiquette. 2. The frontline workers are being supplied with masks, 3-ply, N95 whenever necessary. Sanitizer, disinfecting fluids, globes, IR thermometers wherever necessary. Personal protective equipments wherever necessary. 3. Intensive training on management of COVID-19 is also being done for all levels of frontline workers, right from doctors to helpers. 4. Frontline workers directly involved with suspected/positive case of COVID-19 are allowed to go for quarantine for 14 days after the RT-PCR test done. 5. The frontline workers who are eligible beneficiary under MHIS scheme and Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana are being covered with testing packages and treatment packages. Sir.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. So according to reply of Minister for Health and Family Welfare, he have tried his best in how to give the preventive measures, how to protect about health workers. So I would like to bring the knowledge of the House, even the government, even the Minister himself. Because recently, the Government of India has amended Epidemic Disease Act 1897 in the form of ordinance. So may I know from Honorable Health Minister whether the ordinance is workable, applicable in the state of Meghalaya, sir?
So this ordinance passed on 24 April 2020 by the Union Cabinet and it is applicable, sir, in our states.
Mr. Speaker, sir. So once may I get from Honorable Minister, once the ordinance have been amended, approved by the Government of India, whether it is necessary that the state government have to sit, I'm talking about the state, the cabinet, whether the cabinet have to sit, approve and convey the message to the people of the state that we have for this ordinance, it will be applicable in the state of Meghalaya, sir.
Sir, already have replied, is applicable in the state of Meghalaya also, this ordinance.
So I'm talking about, if necessary, this ordinance, that at the level of the Chief Minister, they will sit and inform that this ordinance is applicable, because as of today, people didn't know anything about this ordinance. I'm talking about in our state. Other states say what has happened. After the ordinance has been passed, the cabinet sit and also just approve formality because it is a central law, sir. Only for that, sir.
Shalka, I read this ordinance, sir. It's very short, sir. If it is for the information of the House. So the key points. Wider inclusions, the amendments intends to protect the health workers from harassment by the public. The amendment will also apply to harassment by the landlords and the neighbors. This is cognizable and non-bailable. Violence against medical staff have been made a cognizable and non-bailable offence. Compensations provisions for compensation for injury of healthcare personnel or for the damage of loss to their property. If damage was done to vehicles or clinics of healthcare workers, a compensation amounting to twice the market value of the damaged property will be charged from the accused. Timely investigations in cases of attack of healthcare workers. The investigation will be completed within 30 days and final decision arrive within 1 year. Umbrella protections. The ordinance will protect the whole healthcare fraternity, including doctors, nurses, and ushers workers from violence during the epidemics. Punishments. The punishment of such attack will be 3 months to 5 years, and the fines will be 50,000 to 2 lakhs. In severe cases where there are grievous injuries, the punishment will be 6 months to 7 years and fine 1 lakh to 5 lakhs.
Mr. Speaker, sir. So if we look again about the reply to number 5, that the frontline workers are eligible beneficiary on the MHIS scheme and Pradhan Mantri, Yan Arogya Yojana and others. So may I know from Honorable Minister, whether it is possible for the doctors, because we knew that as of the fighting of this pandemic, doctors are the front liners. Whether the government will be examined, if possible, doctors should get a separate insurance, because as of MHIS, it's not covers for the doctors. If the government examine that doctors should get separate insurance.
So the doctors, government doctors, they are under the medical reimbursements.
So may I inquire from the Honourable Health Minister whether the PPE kits have been vetted by appropriate authority, and who is this authority?
See, this is for the government only, sir.
Beg your pardon, sir?
This is paid by the government only, sir. By the government. Appropriate authority is the government, sir.
Sir, I did not understand.
I said this is the appropriate authority to certify the PPE is the government, sir.
So may I know what is the full form of RT-PCR?
Real-time polymerase chain reactions.
So may I know the procedures of this RT-PCR, because every time when we read all the messages from the Honorable CM or the Deputy CM, we always see the word result awaited. May I know briefly what is this procedure?
It's the testing kits, sir, this one. Procedure is test to a human's body, sir.
I'm not satisfied with that reply, sir.
So
just to, I'm sure the Health Minister has all the details of the procedure, but we are also not doctors, so we cannot give the exact detail. But basically, sir, RT-PCR test is a viral test, and the swabs are taken from the nose and the throat. Once these swabs are taken, sir, these are put in the testing system, and it requires anything between 8 hours, 12 hours, sometimes a bit more. So therefore, once tests are put in, the samples are taken, the period of time that it takes, so we are waiting for the results of those ones. So this, when we say we are waiting results, we are waiting for the ones that are in the process of being tested. So unlike a rapid test, which just requires the blood test and test for antibodies, when the results come out in 15 minutes, the RT-PCR test requires anything between, I'm not a medical professional, sir, but about 8 to 12 hours plus, sir.
You sound like a doctor.
Oh, sir.
Sir, one more question. So, what are the procedures for the transportation of all of these materials to be tested, and what is the protocol requirement? Because we've seen in the newspaper that tampering or compromised situations have arisen from these swaps. So may I know whether the government is following the procedure for transportation of swabs?
Obviously, sir, the government have to follow the protocol of transportation of the swabs, sir. Just all the samples, sir.
What is the procedure, sir? Are they following it? Because it's a very, very sensitive required protocol, sir.
Sir, for that one I require notice. I don't have right now, so the procedures.
Okay, I'll send it.
Mr. Speaker, sir. See, sir, these frontliners who are working in the front line, they are very, very important for us because they are acting like a shield for us. If something goes wrong, they will be the one who will suffer first. So they are doing commendable job, and we should appreciate, we should salute them. But I would like to get clarification from the government or the Chief Minister. In the recent few days, there was a post in Facebook from the CMO and appreciating the youth wing leaders from the NPP. That they are the one who has worked day and night to enable the government to bring the stranded people from outside the northeast to the state of Meghalaya. Then there has been reaction from the frontline workers. It's not the only those people from the party, it's we who are working day and night, why we are not being appreciated. Then when this kind of reaction was found, they are being threatened to take action by the government through some political party workers. So I would like to know whether it's a fact from the government, because it is very, very important. It will spoil the morale and the enthusiasm of the workers, of the frontliner workers. So it is very, very important and serious. And I was informed that some of the staff, including the doctor, has been relieved from their job. So I would like to get the clarification.
Sir, I didn't think that we'd have a political question like this in the middle of health. I think, sir, it's really sad to see.
Yeah, why I am asking this? Why this political issue has come into picture? Because there should not be any politics at this moment when crisis, we are having this kind of crisis.
Let the Chief Minister reply.
Sir, as I said that, sir, I think it really depends on the way an individual looks at this. I think, sir, everybody is here to help. And I think everybody's help needs to be appreciated. Whether it's an individual, whether it's an organization, whether it's a political party, I think everybody is trying to do their best. And I think it is wrong for any one of us to really look at the situation like this and try to say that this is being done politically or not being done politically. I think it's wrong, sir. But having said that, sir, let me also reiterate that there are people who are doing work. And it is the duty of, as a chief minister or any political leader, to appreciate the work that is being done. We have appreciated the work of so many organizations. We have appreciated the work of so many different individuals. If you look at my Facebook post, you will see every day there are 4 or 5 appreciations of different people who are contributing, different people who are working. So I would urge the honorable member that I think this is not the time to look at this in a political sense and really look at the whole society working together to really fight the situation, sir. So I think I don't want to get into this argument, sir. This is not the place also to discuss this issue.
Sir, it is again contradictory statement. Yeah, we need, at this juncture, we need help from every corner, every individual, every organization, be it political party or any other organization. But when as the Congress party organization, we were extending support in locating different stranded people from different states across the country, why then Honorable Deputy Chief Minister reacted that Congress should not do this work, rather if they are having lots of money, they should give to the government. This kind of reactions, it is contradicting to the statement of the Chief Minister, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. One is this is question our Honorable Chief Minister has already replied. But second, since he mentioned about my name, being the deputy chief minister, I need to clarify.
Yes.
So my clarification is this, sir. I saw the statement in the newspaper that Madam Sonia Gandhi has directed all the state units to go all out, providing assistance for those stranded migrant workers. Number two, working president of the Congress party, they sent a letter to Chief Minister, Chief Secretary. The letter is like this. I think, let me read it out as I remember myself. The letter says, kindly indicate those migrant workers stranded in Meghalaya, we want to take them back from within Meghalaya, not from outside Meghalaya to bring into Meghalaya. So we get confused. The fight of the state, of the government is right now to bring in stranded students, stranded workers from outside the northeastern states, and then from northeastern states too. So now, since Mr. Zenit Sangma, he mentioned about my name, I said, therefore.
Yes, Mr. Zenit Sangma.
I said Mr. Zenit Sangma.
I don't know who is Mr. Zenit Sangma.
Oh, if you don't know that, yeah. Honorable member from Rangsaguda. Mr. Zenit Sangma, honorable member from Rangsaguda. Therefore, I'm telling you, please don't bring politics here. I talked in the press, I said, we welcome. Be it political party, be it anybody. That's why CM what he did. He appreciated in the Facebook every day, on daily basis, including NPP Youth Wing. Yes, if Congress does also, including Youth Congress. Or anybody.
UDP.
So therefore, yes, even UDP. Even MDA Alliance. So, sir, let us stop all this. As I said to you, I think we need to stop. And we are fighting right now against the COVID-19. I think it is very sad you bring in these issues in the House instead of proceeding forward with issues which is relating to the state of Meghalaya.
My question is, Mr. Speaker, a supplementary question. We are dealing with the dreaded disease right now. A few days back, we have seen the PPE and the other equipments which is used by the frontliners. They are dumping their used materials anywhere, where they might never have got a place even to dump also. So I would like to ask the Chief Minister, Minister, whether we are having any incinerator to destroy all the used materials during this fighting of this dreaded COVID-19.
So we have seen, we have been told also that PP have been thrown somewhere near the Saudi area. So the government has sent for the investigation, sir.
No, right now I'm not asking about the throwing. I'm talking about destroying them. How do we destroy? Because if we just throw it anywhere, because since it's a virus, it might spread nearby. So whether we are bringing that incinerator, because right now it is very much needed, not only of this PPA, but any material that is used in the hospital, which is biohazard to any of the neighboring household or maybe the neighboring colonies. So this is
part of the protocol which has to be followed. Mandatory. So what is
Incinerator is the place for any kind of disposal. We have already done, sir. This is there, sir.
Then I think we have to take a strict measure, because whenever you go to any hospital nearby, you will still see dumping of all those, unused items actually from the hospital. So if that hospital is not sincere enough to, follow the hygiene, I think that hospital superintendent should be taken into some consideration.
So point noted, sir.
Yes, Mahaso.
Yeah, since it's matter relating to health, I really want also to take part of it. The Honorable Minister stated that there is an incinerator for destroying these thrown away PPE. But as far as my knowledge goes, there is no incinerator in the whole of Shillong except Naigrim, sir. That Minister clarify this.
So we have incinerator in Shillong, and also the new incinerator are being procured in Turas and Jowai, Shillong and Jowai and Turas, in 3 places, 3 districts.
Can you clarify, sir, where in Shillong it is?
This is in Shillong Civil Hospital, sir.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Please. Yeah. Basun is on.
Yeah. When was this installed in civil hospital, sir, may I know?
Sir, then that dates I don't remember at present, sir.
Just very recently, we were having a meeting of the Committee on Environment. The Director of Health and I was there, the Commissioner Secretary of Health were there. And we were informed even the incinerator that were installed by the Shillong Municipal Board were not functioning. And all these waste, biological waste, were collected by one organization from Maulai Baki and took it to Guwahati for disposal and treatment. And the only hospital in Shillong that have incinerator is Naigrim's. But I'm surprised now to know that civil hospital has incinerator. So I think we need to find it out the real facts.
So I already replied, we have there in Shillong Civil Hospital one incinerator, sir.